So let's look at the set command. If we take the set command, and you can really do this with any other command, just take a statement like set and hit the question mark. And immediately it will start spitting out options for other commands or identifiers that you can use after the set command. Basically, all of your configuration commands that you use in configuration mode are going to start with the command set. So as you can see here, we have options for configuring access. There is chassis, event options, firewall groups, interfaces, and if you just hit the space bar, that will scroll down to the rest of them. So if we say set system, we get all of our system options that we can configure here, such as domain name, host name, Ethernet options, login ports, processes, quite a few under that one. So we want to do interfaces, set interfaces, and here is our options for interfaces. Right now the only interface that I have an IP on is GE000, so that's really the only one that's going to show up here. If you have other interfaces configured, they will show up there, but they usually don't show up unless you have them configured. So just know that if they aren't there, they don't mean that for some reason they are not working. They just don't show up until you have put a configuration on them. Something else you can do is you can use the edit command. If we want to actually go into the system hierarchy and set commands within it, then we can type in the edit system command. And then if you notice in the brackets there it says edit system. That means that we are actually currently in the system level of the hierarchy. If you hit the question mark, you can see that we get all the output for all of the options under that hierarchy that we can use under the system. Alright, so let's look at some show commands. So show commands are basically exactly what it sounds like. You're using show commands to find out information about what is configured, or what is happening with your system. Let's hit the question mark here and look at all of our options. There are quite a few different options here, and basically what their show commands are going to do in configuration mode is they're going to show you parts of the configuration, whereas using show commands in operational mode is going to give you options more related to monitoring and access and things going on in the system. Now, if we use the show system command, this will give us the hierarchy view of everything configured for our system. As you see here, we have a host name, which is router. We have root authentication services that are configured. We have HTTP configured on interface GE000, which is going to be the web interface, the web management interface, or JWeb. We have system login information. If we hit space, we get the rest of it here. Now, this hierarchy view can sometimes be a little confusing, and if you're looking for configuration specific information like a certain configuration command that was entered, there's another way that you can do this. And this is really probably something that you're going to use more often than just a simple show system command. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the show system command followed by the bar, and then we're going to parse the output. And what we want to do is we want to display set commands. So we want to display all the commands that start with set that we have entered on this device. And we hit enter, and what we get is a list of all the set commands that were entered under the system hierarchy. So to get the configuration that we have under system, these are the commands that have been entered to achieve that configuration. This can be very handy when you're trying to remove certain configuration commands, or if you just want to copy a part of the configuration from one device so that you can copy the set commands straight into the command line of another device. So another way you can do this is show interfaces. We use the bar, display set. This will show us all of the commands that we have entered for interfaces under the interface hierarchy. So we have the GE00 interface, or GE000, and we see that the address has been configured on this interface. We also have the loopback, and that's there by default. Now, something else that I need to show you is that if you go back to operational mode here, just type in exit. Something that can be very handy if you are trying to duplicate a configuration from one device to another. Say you're rolling out multiple firewalls and there are only slight configuration differences between the two devices. You can build out one configuration and load it onto this device, and then you can come into operational mode and type in the commands show config. We'll use the bar and display set. And what this is going to do, as opposed to the other commands in configuration mode, is this is going to display every set command that has been entered on the device to achieve the current configuration. When you enter the command in configuration mode, it's showing you hierarchical levels of specific configuration sets, like either interfaces or systems, or routing options or whatever. But when you do this command in operational mode, we get all of the configuration commands that have been entered on this device to achieve the current configuration. So what you can do is you can copy all of that out into Notepad, and you can change a couple of addresses or change a couple of policies, and then copy that configuration into another device, and you won't have to do it all by hand.